loves, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Joy, and guys, we have a doozy of a video. And before you just go, wait, what is this? And you just totally don't like it, hear me out because there's some interesting evidence behind this. So we're having reports come in that Joe Biden has passed, that he has been passed, and it's being hidden from us. Actually, this is a situation that over the weeks I've been calling. I have been saying that I believe at this point he's going to be forced out because the people that control him and that he's working for do things like this. And because he is so stubborn, they're going to have to take him out. Now, I'm not saying that because I wish that on the man. I don't wish that on anybody. I'm saying it because to me, it's just logic. Look at the evidence. Look at the people that he interacts with, the people at the very, very top. These are people that will do things like that, and I have been concerned for him. So I want to go over all the information because we actually have some interesting, compelling evidence. Guys, if you like videos like this, make sure and subscribe, hit the notification bell as well. Guys, sound off in the comments. I'm going to show you stuff. Tell me what you see. Tell me what you hear. I like getting your perspective, and leave me a like. Everything helps. So here we go. This is from the Daily Beast. It says, Biden's phone into Harris event amid wacky claims he's dead. So this is the thing. Yesterday, now here's the other part. We haven't seen Biden. We have not seen him since he got off that airplane, which I'm going to go over with you because that's scary in itself. And a lot of us had pointed that out at the time when it happened, when he got off that plane. But we haven't seen him. It's been days. All we know is what he put out on Twitter. That's it. Now, however, to calm all these rumors, apparently he called in to Kamala's event, but even that has issues around it. So let's keep going. And it says, President Joe Biden made his first live remarks since dropping out of the presidential race on Monday evening, speaking by phone to a crowd of staffers at campaign headquarters in Wilmington, Delaware. I know yesterday's news was surprising. It was hard for you to hear, but it was the right thing to do, Biden said, calling in as he recovers from COVID, before Vice President Kamala Harris made her first stop of her presidential campaign. The name has been changed to the top of the ticket, but the mission hasn't changed at all, Biden said. And by the way, I'm not going anywhere. Isn't that what we've been hearing for weeks? And by the way, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. By the way, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be out there in the campaign with her, with Kamala. Biden also stressed how important it still is to him to defeat Donald Trump. I won't be on the ticket, but I'm still going to be fully engaged, he added. Biden promised he would do anything Harris needed him to do to support her. He remained on the phone as Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff introduced his wife. I'm watching you, kid, Biden said as Harris began. I love you. She held her hand to her heart. The public appearance also served as virtual proof of life for Biden, who quickly became the subject of a series of bizarre right-wing conspiracies after his decision to withdraw from the 2024 campaign Sunday afternoon was announced in a written statement, including many who suggest that the president may be incapacitated in some way or even unalived. If this were a hostage situation, the letter would not qualify as proof of life, billionaire Trump supporter Bill Ackman wrote about Biden Sunday night in a conspiracy-laden thread on X, formerly Twitter. It's so interesting. Now, see, in our society, the way we look at somebody with credibility, a lot of times it can be pedigree with schooling, but then the other part is who has the money and how much money do you have? So it's interesting to watch them turn on these millionaires and billionaires and scream, oh, it's a conspiracy when it's the right. When it's the left says Trump wasn't even shot. So it's okay for them to have conspiracies and to go into that. For them, it's critical thinking. But for anybody who even slightly looks like they're right, they're just right-wing conspiracy nut jobs. Isn't that interesting? The hypocrisy drives me nuts. So it says, Charlie Kirk, founder and CEO of conservative youth group Turning Point USA, was among those who spread such conspiracy theories, writing on X that a source had told him in Las Vegas that police were ordered to close streets so the president could get medical treatment before being asked to stand down. Apparently, the rumor mill is the police department was that Joe Biden was dying or possibly already dead, Kirk wrote. I'm beginning to grow more curious if COVID or something else has been more serious than reported. But Biden's Monday call seemed to confirm Biden was doing just fine as the new Harris campaign projected an image of unity and energy. After Biden endorsed Harris, numerous Democrat members of Congress, governors, and elder statesmen, including virtually all of the potential rivals, lined up behind her. On Monday, she appeared to have all but locked up the Democratic nomination, bringing hope to a party that had been sagging under the weight of Biden's stumbles. I know it's been a roller coaster, and we're all filled with so many mixed emotions about this, Harris said. New Harris for President signs could be seen on the walls, along with California's state flag, a little more than 24 hours after Biden ended his run. But Harris affirmed that some things won't change. Harris announced she would be keeping on Biden's campaign manager and his campaign chair to lead the organization. A highlight of her speech came when Harris discussed her background as California Attorney General and a courtroom prosecutor. In those roles, I took on the perpetrators of all kinds, she said, earning cackles. Predators who abused women, fraudsters who ripped off consumers, cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say I know Donald Trump's type, including minorities who did very little in the system when it comes to crime and putting away people who had marijuana, because why not? Harris used her first stop on the campaign trail to promise to build the middle class, talk up voting rights and gun control, and warn against Project 2025, something that Trump says he doesn't even know what it is. She also promised that if Congress passes a law to restore reproductive rights, she will sign it. Let's go to the evidence. So this is the first thing. I want you to look at this and tell me if you see anything interesting with this. This was the letter that Joe Biden put up. I'll tell you what I see. The first thing, a lot of people, his signature doesn't look like his signature at all. That doesn't look like his signature. The second thing that people find interesting, and this is just more of a side note, not once does he actually endorse Kamala in this letter. Let me show you. Where the endorsement for Kamala comes in is actually, I believe it's right. Let me go back. Is it here? He had an endorsement on here for Kamala. And if you're wondering, donate to her campaign here. Somewhere on this, maybe I'm not seeing it right now, but it said basically like, oh, by the way, I endorse Kamala. And I'm not seeing it anymore. And if you're with us, donate to her campaign here. So interesting. And then it's up here. It says, I was, my very first decision as the party nominee was to pick Kamala Harris. So he said that after he put out that letter, which a lot of people find weird. Now, if you guys remember, and we'll get into this in a second, basically here's the timeline of events of what happened. He was saying, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. The last interview he gave, I'm not going anywhere unless something medical happened to me and I couldn't run. Hours later, I have COVID. I have to go home. And we saw this really awful video of him coming off the plane where he can barely walk. Now, people are saying, well, he called in, this proves it. So first of all, how hard is it to do a video call? How hard? But a lot of people are saying that there are a lot of issues with this call. So I want to go ahead and have you listen to this call where he calls in, and I want you to tell me what you see and what you hear with this, because to a lot of people it doesn't sit right.
And now I'd like to introduce a man who we all admire and respect because he has done and continues to do so much for our country. Mr. President, thank you for calling in today. Over to you.
Julie, if I didn't have COVID, I'd be sitting there with you, standing there with you. I'm so proud of what you've all done. And but this COVID has keeping me out of people's hair for the next 3 or 4 days. But I'm going to be on the road, and I'm not going anywhere. It's kept me away a little bit, but I want people to remember that what we have done has been incredible, and we get so much more we're going to get done. And so I want to say hello to Kamala. If she can hear me, I know she's going to be speaking shortly. And I want to say to the team, embrace her. She's the best. I want to call today to thank everybody in this effort. I know yesterday's news was surprising, and it was hard for you to hear, but it was the right thing to do. I know it's hard because you poured your heart and soul into me to help us win this thing, help me get this nomination, help me win the nomination, and then go on to win the presidency. But you know, you're an amazing team. But we've got a great. I think we made the right decision. I know how hard you've worked, how many sacrifices you've made, and so many of you uprooted your lives for me, and the kind of commitments few people make for anything these days, but you made it. And I've been honored and humbled. I mean, this is from the bottom of my heart. My word is a Biden, that for all you've done for me and my family. And we built the best campaign in organization in history. I've been doing this, I always kid and say, I know I'm only 40, but I've been around a long time. I don't know of a better campaign organization, grassroots campaign. You know, we have over 230 offices opened. We have over 2,000 paid staff. And we have literally several thousand volunteers on a regular basis, thousands of them. And they've been relentless and tireless in reaching out and contacting voters. The leadership of this campaign has been amazing. Jen O'Malley Dillon, Julie Quinton, Michael Tyler, Rob Flaherty, Rufus on raising money, and so many more. You built this team, you brought them together, you brought us together, you've inspired them, and you've done what leaders do. Now we got to, you know, the name has changed at the top of the ticket, but the mission hasn't changed at all. And by the way, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be out there in the campaign with her, with Kamala. I'm going to be working like hell, both as a sitting president, getting legislation passed, as well as in campaigning. You know, what we still need to save this democracy. And Trump is still a danger to the community. He's a danger to the nation. And just ask my foreign policy colleagues, my counterparts, and other people around the world and at home. Look, so I'm hoping you'll give every bit of your heart and soul that you gave to me to Kamala. And I want you to know, I won't be on the ticket, but I'm still going to be fully engaged. I've got 6 months left in my presidency. I'm determined to get as much done as I possibly can, both foreign policy and domestic policy. Keep lowering costs for families, continue to speak out on guns and child care, elder care, prescription drugs, and climate. Climate still is the existential threat that we face, and if we don't win this thing, it's all in jeopardy. And we got to keep working for an end to the war in Gaza. I'll be working very closely with the Israelis and with the Palestinians to try to work out how we can get the Gaza war to end and Middle East peace and get all those hostages home. I think we're on the verge of being able to do that. And we got to keep our alliances together. It's critically important. It took a while for me to build these alliances. Most of these my colleagues have acknowledged that, but it's critically important for our safety and security. And I know I'll be doing whatever Kamala wants me or needs me to do in addition. So let me be real clear. We're still fighting in this fight together. I'm not going anywhere. And I want you to know you've always had my back, and I promise you, I will always have your back. And I'm anxious for you all to hear from Kamala. So thank you, Julie. You're the best.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Now, guys, I want you to hear how Kamala responds to this, because this is where it's going to get a little bit weird.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Can we just give it up again for my husband? It is so good to hear our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the call, and we've been talking every day. You guys heard it from Doug's voice. We love Joe and Jill. We really do. They truly are like family to us.
So do we.
And we do. Everybody here does.
It's mutual.
I knew you were still there. You're not going anywhere, Joe.
I'm watching you, kid. I'm watching you, kid. I love you.
I love you, Joe. Oh.
Did you guys hear that? I'm going to play it again so you can hear it. She does a bit of a stutter. Listen again to what she says.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Can we just give it up again for my husband? It is so good to hear our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the call, and we've been talking every.
So did you hear that? Joe, I still know you're on the call. So a couple of things. First of all, a lot of people think she was about to say recording. Rec is what comes out, and then the call. So was this pre-recorded? And number two, a lot of people are saying this doesn't sound like him, this sounds like AI. And there are a lot of people putting out information showcasing how and why this sounds like AI. I'm not saying it does, I'm not saying it doesn't, but I do find it interesting because these are the concerns I've been raising for quite some time about we are all laughing at how badly he's doing and what a crap show it was. But who's actually advocating for this person medically? Is he okay? Last thing I want to show you is this. This is the last footage we have of Joe Biden. I want you to take a look.
How are you feeling?
Mr. President, how do you feel?
How do you feel?
Feel good. Do you have symptoms? Yes. Good. I feel good.
So that is the last known video that we have. Of Joe Biden. And at that point, as I said, the timeline of events was that he was saying, I'm not going anywhere for weeks. Then all of a sudden it was, I'm not going anywhere unless I'm medically forced out. Hours later, I have COVID. And that was the last video. He looked like he could barely move. He could barely get up those stairs. At this point, guys, COVID isn't as much of a concern as we know. COVID is more like the common cold or a flu. But to people with autoimmune issues, certain types of health issues, and specifically the elderly, it can hit really hard. That's the last we've seen from him. Now, we heard some rumors from that article. I've also heard a rumor that there's been no-fly zones over Wilmington, Delaware for a while. I have not been able to confirm that, so I want to go ahead and put that out there. Here is my concern. My concern is Joe was not going to go quietly, so they took him out. Now, he already has a bunch of health issues, and it's not a stretch to say his own health issues are what have done it. But what must they have been doing? What technologies have been put in place to keep him going that we're not aware of, that obviously the American public, we don't get that kind of health care? And have they just pulled the plug on all of that? Or did they just say time to take him out? I'm not saying that happened, but I am saying a lot of times where there's smoke, there's fire. Now, not every time. Sometimes you see a lot of random things and weird things that are just a bunch of strange coincidences and people's brains are trying to put them together. As somebody who's been on the internet, I've watched people make conspiracies about me that are completely off base. But when they start adding up certain things and putting them in a certain context, I'm like, I could see where they came to that conclusion, even though it's not true. The problem is we're dealing with very evil people. The people that control Joe are very, very, very evil people who want nothing more than to take this country down, as well as keep all of us enslaved and in poverty. And I'm actually happy that other people are voicing my concerns. It's not that I'm wanting to spread misinfo. It's that I do think we need to be concerned for, is he alive and is he okay? Who is actually running this country? I will be interested to see if he actually makes appearances. I hope he does. Here's the thing. I hope I'm wrong. This isn't about, for me, putting out this information is not about whether or not I'm right or wrong. It's about raising the alarm and saying, we haven't seen him for a long time. Is he okay? And I've said this for a while, and I feel like I'm one of the only ones saying this. I'm concerned we're looking at a Britney Spears medically kidnapped situation. Back then, we were all called crazy too, and we were right. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope he's okay. But if not, I'm going to advocate for people who are disabled and medically need help, especially when they're surrounded by all those evil people where elder abuse is being done. What do you guys think of this? What do you think of my assessment? What do you think of this info? Do you think he's even still with us? Everything I'm doing, guys, I want you to know is in respect to him, respect to his family, but that man needs some help, and I do not trust the people he's around. And I think that's a fairly safe judgment to say I don't trust the people at the top that control him, and I don't trust the people that he's around. So I just hope he's all right. Tell me your thoughts, guys. Sound off in the comments. Also, if you like this kind of content, make sure and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave me a like. Everything helps. All right, guys, until next video, I'm giving you all hugs, mwah, kisses. I'm your girl. I got your back. And as always, stay safe, and I will see you soon. Bye.